Look who's back.
Finally, we're back.
Where did we go?
Where did we go?
Where did we
I
go?
don't remember going anywhere.
I don't remember. I was sitting right here
Could have sworn we disappeared.
waiting for
pretty
next
sure I was
EP. But you know what? Welcome back to episode.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh no,
Eight.
I think it's 8.
Is it
Eight.
Pretty sure
That's
it's 8.
We're gonna start something a bit different today. We're gonna do something called like CultrTalk Shorts.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter,
Yeah.
different topics.
Mhm.
And today's topic. Wait, let's before
Yeah.
that. Who sponsors this?
I'm pretty sure it's By Culture. That is me and Shuhan's marketing company where we focus mainly on digital marketing on social media platforms, specifically with small businesses and startups. But if any big companies want to work with us, I don't really mind. Also, we have House of Sheba.
Yeah, so House of Sheba is your one-stop shop for women with melanin-rich skin, and that's coming in 2019. And make sure to check out the socials in the description.
Today, young Joshua over here
Yes,
has decided to say, let's talk about Brexit.
Yes, so I've picked the topic today. So basically, we asked you guys on Instagram to give us some topics to talk about, and a lot of them are really good. But one which we found very relevant was Brexit.
Yeah.
So Josh Day sent in a really good topic. He said, Brexit and the EU, how much do young people know, and are the youth politically apathetic? So that's an incredibly good topic. So we're going to start.
Love the word apathetic.
Apathetic.
Listen to the tone.
hit me.
Apathetic.
When you read
Emphasis on
it hits me.
Yeah, it just got.
It hit my
It's
heart.
gotta do it like
hit
that.
my heart. Like,
So yesterday, for relevance, MPs voted on whether we'll have a second referendum.
yeah, I saw that.
And they voted against having a second referendum. So they're basically going to postpone Brexit. So I think the original plan was to invoke Brexit next week.
Yeah.
What, to have it in place.
To have it in place next week. But obviously the government are playing in a sandpit right now. They're very confused as to what. We don't know what we're doing. Like, we've never done something as stupid as this before.
Yeah.
And we don't know what we're doing. So they're going to delay it till June at the latest. But what do you guys think of Brexit in terms of how it's affected young people, and whether we had enough information to go off in the first place?
I feel like there was a lot of lies going on when the first campaigns were coming out for the referendum to leave the EU. There was a lot of lies going on, especially with the NHS, especially with healthcare, saying that they're going to invest more money into the NHS. But since then, all they've been doing is cutting more and more money into public organizations that are meant to be helping people.
Yeah.
But instead, they're punishing people. Like, if you go to the NHS hospital right now, you'll most likely be there for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just to get your pinky checked out.
Yeah, literally,
Like, honestly, I don't even bother going anymore. Like, I've been sick for the past week and I don't bother going because I know I'm going to be there for hours waiting.
To be honest, who needs a doctor when you have a phone?
Honestly, it's so true though. You can wait for 4 hours and get the same response that you do on your phone.
There's
But
no
then you
need.
search something on Google and it says you're going to die. So
Yeah, but that's when you take it to that's when you take it to the next level. It's like, I'm only looking for the minor symptoms. I'm not saying I got a chesty cough and then say I got lung cancer.
don't at me. Right? Don't at me right
I
now.
know Bilal
Chesty
says
cough.
he's got headaches. I've got chronic migraines. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
what I was gonna say is, you see how young Theresa May
Young T
has been strutting her stuff, dancing here, dancing there. Anyone else in her position or would have resigned by now.
Yes.
And the fact that she's still there, and I personally feel like she's embarrassing herself.
Yep, same. But it's so funny because how the whole campaign was so perfectly orchestrated. So Michael Gove, the Secretary of Education, who messed up our lives in GCSEs and A-levels. I hate you. Just sending that out there. Michael Gove and Boris Johnson ran for the position of Prime Minister at the time of Brexit.
Young Boris.
And both of them essentially, well, Boris especially, was on TV spreading lies. Political robbery, in fact, saying the NHS is going to save 340 million a year. Like, we're going to get much better trade deals, X, Y, and Z. And when it came to it, to running for Prime Minister, he miraculously dropped out. Nigel Farage as well was another vocal person as part of the UKIP party, along with Boris Johnson. also supposed to be running, and they all dropped out of the race for Prime Minister, leaving Theresa May the only person. So she wasn't elected. There was no fight between any of them.
Yeah, it's fine. So it was like almost easy for her to get in there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, why are you still there?
And this is what I personally think. I think it was orchestrated between all of them for those three to be the marketing people, to go out and spread word about Brexit, like state the figures that will save money for NHS, will save money for this, will save money for that, and then leave Theresa May to go pick up the rest
Pieces.
and go for it. I think she's somebody who is very...
I think also David Cameron left everything in this, because it wasn't
He's
the
hidden
one.
now.
He's hidden now, but he was the one that brought it up.
Yeah, it was his party that brought it up.
I think I heard something. He brought this whole Brexit vote something to please the members in his party to at that time.
Yeah.
Then he realized it got too far, and then he's not.
So it's two things. So like, you can either see that side of it, or like, one, if you're gonna stay in power, you need to listen to your party, and I think the Conservatives wanted.
But if your party's not right, why would you listen to them? I wouldn't. Personally.
Well, then you're not staying in power, and these people are playing power politics.
Josh, to me, it sounds like you want a power trip, Josh.
I'm on a bit of a power trip today, but no, that's literally like how it is. So like, he decided to listen to the party. He gave the people what they wanted.
Keep himself there.
But he did state in a video that's like still online. He said, "Listen, if we're going to go down the route of we're going to leave the EU, we are not going to get a second referendum. Don't think that we're going to get one."
Yeah.
So he publicly said he doesn't agree with it, even though he is obviously playing for himself. He wants to stay in power. But he literally said, we're not going to get another second referendum. This is a big decision to make. Don't make the wrong choice. And we did, and he backed out of it because he wouldn't be able to continue the role.
So how does...
Like, when you think about it, when the actual referendum happened and you could see the live votes, most of the people that were voting out were from outside London. Yeah. So from North, mainly from North, saying let's vote out. But like, how do you think that impacts us being like a multicultural city, being influenced by people from up north?
Well, what we saw is, and this isn't not to generalize and say everybody from up north, but what happened is we saw a lot of, the referendum brought out a lot of closet racists who, when Nigel Farage is spouting immigration, we're keeping these people out, then these people are like, it's like they had all been hiding, because it's not really culturally acceptable to be spouting about keeping Muslims out, or it's not America. You can't say these things. Yeah. So when Nigel Farage has the platform on TV to be saying this, and it being broadcasted to thousands and thousands of people in the UK, these people come out in droves. So that is how it massively changed the tide of Brexit, and it made us in London or other multicultural cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham, it made us look like a small minority, which is crazy. You'd assume that most people don't agree with these things. Yeah. But it's mad. It's crazy.
We're like a small part of London. I mean, the UK, sorry.
Yeah.
Small part. We're very small. What do you mean?
No.
We're very small, like we're a very small city, compared to the rest of the UK. Like we're like surrounded by everything else that like kind of impacts us, that we don't realize impacts us. Like, especially when these votes happen, like such a massive vote, like such as the EU. Yeah. Like now we're like most likely going to go out in the next month.
Are we though?
Well, they can't back out now.
Can they not?
After everything they've gone through, I think that it would just make us look even worse.
So I think the EU, what they're doing right now is they're making an example of us. They are telling us blatantly, I don't know if he's the EU president, but Donald Tusk, he's literally saying, I don't know what you guys are doing. You should have never made this decision. You guys need to hurry up and do something because we're not playing games. They're letting every other country know, if you decide to go down this route, this is what it's going to end up being.
We just made a mockery of ourselves.
Literally, they're making a mock. They're mocking us, basically.
We've mocked ourselves. Forget what anyone else has done to us. We've mocked ourselves here. What does it mean for people like us, for young people like us, leaving university soon, getting into the working world? What does it mean for us? What does Brexit mean? How does it impact us? Not just us, also the people already in there, already working. How does it impact everyone?
I mean, so for us three in particular who are from London, we're not going to face some of the problems that international students will. And like I've seen like UCR now sending out emails about Brexit, trying to inform students of what's going on, because there's a lot of
they have to
ambiguity.
Do this, they have to do this like 40-page application to be able to stay.
Oh really? 40 pages?
To be able to stay.
But after
crazy.
Brexit,
They have to fill out this like whole form. It's like, I don't know if it's like a visa, but they have to reapply
mad.
to be able to stay for another.
Because I know someone that works in Canary Wharf for a company, and then they're facing uncertainty at the moment about their job because the companies are now shifting the offices from London to elsewhere. So their department there, they're all facing uncertainty of their job. So they don't know if they're going to be working in the next 2 weeks or not. So which is crazy.
You
like
know,
to think about that. And then they're not given the option to relocate. It's just like, oh yeah, sorry.
Exactly.
They're basically being made redundant. Yeah.
And without notice. It's so scary to think you had security one day and then the next day it's just all gone.
And it's not anything to do with the company failing or the person failing.
It's just the government. Mate.
It's the system behind it.
It's the system behind it. And
when has a system not failed?
Yeah. And I mean, like,
digging deep
in terms, for real. Like,
it's got to be like that sometimes, you know.
It's got to be like that sometimes. And like, I'm so disappointed by the fact that like I'm a Labour supporter primarily, I'd say, because of my background socio-economically. But like, I think like a lot of us would be, because during their manifesto, most recently, they were opting for they said no university fees, which I think was a bit ambitious. But like, a lot of the things fall in line with the things young people want and need to be able to thrive. But with that campaign, Jeremy Corbyn didn't do enough. All you'd see on TV was Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson and Theresa May.
You also need to think about who did the media want to show.
That's another thing as well.
Yeah, it's the backing that comes with it, especially the financial backing.
I'm pretty sure that Jeremy Corbyn didn't have as much support as Nigel Farage would have had.
But it's not yet, and that's true. It's not even just that though. A lot of the Labour Party don't even trust Jeremy Corbyn.
To be honest, I'd say before I was a Labour supporter, but now when it comes to politics, I don't have a side which I go for. For me, what it comes down to now is to pick the lesser of all evils.
Yeah.
So I look at the campaigns and what they're going for, and I just pick the lesser of all evils.
And that's
it's got to the point where it's just
extremely
ridiculous.
important. Like young people within the UK, I think, all voted, like mostly voted Labour, and voted Remain as well. For Brexit,
because we actually have brains and minds. We actually think. You know what I mean?
But it impacts our future directly.
Yeah,
because like we're the ones that are going to grow up with this situation.
This mess they're leaving behind.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd say like for young people voting, actually read the manifestos, find out if they fall in line
with what you believe.
Don't listen to everything they say. For example, if Jeremy Corbyn says no university fees, take that with a pinch of salt. If Boris Johnson says we're going to save 340 million a year for the NHS, but the divorce bill for Brexit is 50 billion, understand that doesn't add up, because saving that, like, I don't know how we let somebody it actually baffles me so much. But like,
we call bikes after him.
Boris Bikes.
So how can you trust that person?
Exactly. How can you trust that person?
Boris Bikes. Literally Boris Bikes.
Yeah, legit.
For job prospects, what does that mean for us? Would you say? So, like, say we want to stay in the UK, we want to work here. What does that mean for us?
I mean, for a lot of English people who are in favor of leaving, a lot of them believe that jobs will free up, basically, because EU nationals have to return to their countries, which I think in some cases is true, but I don't like. This is how I see it. If we're essentially extraditing all of the talent that we bring into the UK, like the UK in itself from the 60s and earlier thrived off bringing people from Asia, from Africa, from the Middle East to come and work here and improve the country. In unity.
Exactly.
And now we're sending people back on the basis that I don't even know what the argument is. Like what? Like immigration or what? I actually don't know.
So what you're saying is that for us British nationals
Yeah.
with a British passport, it's going to be that some people are claiming there's going to be more jobs for us.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna be the same.
I just
It's gonna be
feel,
the same.
Because
I just feel
for
that's
people
gonna-
that are already here, they have to do that application process to be able to stay.
Yeah.
Most, like, let's say, most 100% of the time, most of them will be accepted straight away.
Yeah.
Because if they're already working or if they're already studying,
At uni, exactly. They're
Then
going to want to keep them.
they're approved.
Yeah.
They've been approved before. Why are they going to get declined now? Unless they've done something wrong in that time, I doubt they're going to be
But
like
I feel like
taken out.
jobs will decrease if anything. I'm talking about like the corporate roles and stuff because
Yeah.
literally offices are closing down and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're
That's
literally
another
and
thing.
they're
I
literally
read a
moving.
report actually that
They're
said that
literally
like
moving.
companies, like some financial firms, were going to move to Europe
Yeah.
because of the situation.
I mean, we went to Dublin recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, one thing about Dublin, yeah. If I'm seeing the EU flag more than I'm seeing the Irish flag,
Yeah.
that's saying like why
Yeah.
why is the EU flag? They're so like happy,
Yeah. Yeah.
like because
It's,
isn't Dublin seen as like London's or like the UK's like ugly brother or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It has some weird,
Yeah.
some weird thing about like
Yeah.
they seem to be thriving there. Like
some
Oh, obviously
major
now
companies
now
there.
everyone's trying to move over to that.
they have
Dublin.
a Silicon Valley there,
Yeah.
which literally has some of the biggest companies. Facebook,
we had
Deloitte.
we
went to.
had some
yeah.
talks over there, and then even they were saying themselves, like throwing in little jabs here and there.
Exactly.
You might be working over here,
And
now.
a lot of the people a lot of the workers we went and spoke to, and they were talking about their job experience at Facebook and whatnot. A lot of these people are from London,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Yeah, like after uni, we saw this, and we were like, we're getting out of London."
yeah,
Because I understand that like the job market here is very saturated. UCL has 40,000 students, right? And we're all going to be fighting for a place at, I don't know, a JP Morgan or wherever.
yeah.
On top of that, there's the many other unis in London and outside of London that are also going to be competing for the same places. That's crazy. But when you're going to be exporting all of the talent that we have, how do you think that's going to improve your company?
Standards,
in any sense of the
standards are
word?
going to drop.
They're going to drop like
Yeah.
crazy. Like, it's like, for example, the other day I was looking at the gaming industry. I think the UK is like the third biggest gaming industry in the world.
Yeah.
And it generates a dumb amount of revenue.
And how many of that is homegrown talent?
Here we go. So I think like 60 to 70% is EU talent,
Yeah,
EU nationals.
yeah.
Or maybe it's just over. But regardless, it's more than 50%.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dev teams now are moving. They're relocating.
Yeah, no, a lot of
And
them are, yeah.
some of the greatest titles have come out of the UK. Tomb Raider, for example. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto as well comes out of the UK. So that's just one industry. What about the other industries?
Industries, yeah.
What do the UK produce? As far as I know, we only make Vauxhall Astras. That's like and even then, I think that's
There's a
German.
major automotive industry.
Listen, we both have Astras here.
I rate Astras. I rate
Yeah,
Astras.
exactly. So, yeah.
I respect Astras. I have an Astra.
I have an Astra,
But
as
I'm
well,
just
like-
saying, like,
I have a Vauxhall too in it, so like
You have a Vauxhall.
yeah, Vauxhall.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Vauxhall.
I have a Vauxhall as well.
oh wow,
We all
okay,
have-
so all rapid English.
Yeah,
English
We all
made
rap.
brands.
Okay, listen.
But no, like we import everything else from other countries. So in terms of trade
I
as
think
well,
that's what they kind of want to go for. They want everything to be from inland. So like, you know how in the US they want everything to be made in
but
the
how
USA.
many years is
that going to take
But think about it. You can't just go from relying on the EU so much to all of a sudden being, we're going to be inland now. That
Yeah,
takes
but they
time
were trying to build their relationships with like some countries in the EU,
exactly.
but it hasn't really been
And that's
working
what I'm saying.
out.
The EU's making it. They're like, oh, so you want a deal? Not so you wanted to leave, but now you want a deal? No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's like, let's give you an example. You break up with your girlfriend,
Yeah.
and then you break up with her and then come back and say, well, let's make a deal though. Like, I'm gonna break up with you, but let's make
condition.
Let's
on-
make it
on
though. You
these
take me out on Fridays and
No, yeah,
Saturdays.
but
and then the
on
rest
these
of the week you do what
conditions,
you want.
like I take you on a date on a Monday, then like on Wednesday you return a favor, but like we're broke, but like, we're not together.
We're not together.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll have a
But
date.
we'll have a date. But
Come on, like
It's an awkward breakup. innit?
you can't.
literally awkward break.
You can't do that. You can't break up a relationship and then try and bargain. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Like, are you sure you don't want this? Like, I can give
Yeah,
you this.
exactly.
Listen.
And then-
Us Asian, Arab, and African dads would be so proud right now.
Yeah, no,
Bargaining.
negotiations.
Just for haggling, man. There's no even bargains, haggling.
Haggling.
So in theory, They're saying it's made it better for British nationals in theory, and they've made it harder for internationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying in theory.
Yeah, in theory, that is what it is. But then in other aspects, and people might say this is so minor, but like travel, like we'll need some sort of next driving license if you want to drive abroad. We'll need visas if we want to go anywhere in the EU. It just makes everything so much more difficult than it needs to be. And it is at the fault of the government, because none of these things were, at least if you made people aware of these ramifications, then people might think about it. Yeah, of course.
So they kind of hit those things.
They hit those things.
Made it seem good, like, we're going to save money on the NHS. We're going to put more money into like public funds. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But they haven't done any of it. There's no signs they're going to do anything. And it just seems like they're cutting everything to be able to pay for the EU breakup. And
it was a one-sided affair. I didn't hear any alternative arguments from leaving, really. Like, I didn't hear any Remain arguments. You literally have to go out and find that yourself. So to me, the solution should be, like, me personally, I think government and politics should be compulsory somewhat in schools. Like
we did citizenship, didn't we?
We did citizenship, yeah.
And then that taught us
some stuff, but I feel like it should be like
it needs to be developed
proper,
more,
develop like politics, because
I didn't have nothing, no teaching for like,
it's because like
do my own reading and stuff.
Like when you're not taught, and then you don't do your own reading, and then all these things just come up, you just don't know what to do in that sort of case. And we need to think about our future more than anything right now, and like we need to be educated.
I just thought that was so funny. So an example of somebody who like just did not know what was going on with Brexit. So someone I know on the day the votes were going on for whether we should leave or not, the results came out and we left. And I put up like a Snapchat at the time showing like the effect this could have long term for the pound and what this will do to the economy. And someone I know who voted to leave replied to that saying, "What does that mean if the pound's weaker?"
Nah.
And I was thinking,
what?
I was like,
you're telling me who this is after.
And I was like, sorry, why did you vote leave? And they were just like, I don't know. Just felt like the better thing to do.
So basically what it is, these people see the propaganda, see the buzz around it. They're like, leave. This is a new thing. And then they advertise.
You need to research and before you make a big decision. Yeah. Like in any matter of life, like you need to know the facts before you do anything.
Because they're showing one side of a coin, and you flip it, and they just pick anything.
So this person literally replied back to say they don't know why they voted to leave. It just seemed like
the best thing to do.
I just, when I voted to remain,
I have no words for that.
I just thought of it logically. I was like, okay, everything is okay right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if we leave the EU. Imagine how messed up everything is gonna get. As if it's not already messed up, but it's like okay, like we can deal with it, and it will get better. But if we just like flip the coin, it's just gonna mess everything up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like look at the NHS right now; it is peak.
Yeah.
Cuts all over the place, strikes all the time, especially with transport as well. Like coming into uni and stuff. That
we had an episode on this, but big policing.
Yeah. For real.
The cuts are insane everywhere.
We have a clear and cut problem on the streets, but none of it can be addressed because the police are too exhausted with the amount of stuff they have to do and the minimal resources they have.
They're working overtime.
They don't have.
And there's not enough of them.
If you're not getting paid enough, where's the motivation to go and put your life at risk to?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's just something that they've thought about in Parliament, whatever, and then they felt, let's just. I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
Honestly, I feel like it just came from a group, a really weird group within the Conservative Party who thought that they could do something catastrophic and prove that they can change something. So basically now they're known as the party that have given the UK what they want. So like they've listened to the people. So that's kind of what I think they were going for. And I think maybe some of the people within the party didn't think they would have the effect it would, and that we'd actually leave. And now we have, and nobody knows what to do about it. And nobody even wants to take the job, apart from Theresa May, who was the only person willing enough to go through with it, which is mental.
So if there is a a new election and stuff,
Mm.
who would you guys like to see?
So I think Labour needs a change of leadership. If Jeremy Corbyn stays, I don't think I can support him. Right now, we're at a point where we've had quite a bit of austerity in that uni fees have been hiked, taxation, and we've come out for a while now. We've come out of recession. We're in recovery. So I feel like we need stability now.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning in something in between Liberal Democrats who, like, for example, in their last manifesto, they proposed like university fees of £6,000 instead of 9k,
That's
which
more.
is
That's
in
more,
between. Yeah, the
That's
zero.
more like realistic than saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna get rid of it."
We're going to get rid of uni fees,
Yeah.
which will mean they'll hike prices somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Labour needs a change of leadership and a change of a manifesto, but I don't think the Conservative government should have another run.
We just need someone with a clear vision of like where to go, not telling lies, because I think we've had enough lies in like being told to the public.
Yeah.
So having people that can actually set out a clear plan, especially to deal with leaving the EU, like because it's gonna happen. That's it. Like it happens. We need a plan for after.
Yeah.
Because there's no clear set plan right now.
Yeah. There's no plan.
And any advice I'd give to like international students, even home students, is just read up on things. Keep an eye on what's happening with Brexit, because it does have an impact on our future.
Yeah.
And like for future reference, read before you do anything.
Yeah.
Like literally, don't do something that you don't know about. Like if you literally, like the example you gave, they don't know why they did it. It just felt best suited. Don't, because at the end of the day, you're putting your future at risk along with millions of other people.
Exactly.
But yeah, sounds good. Episode on the Brexit shenanigans.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh, for the topic. That was a really good topic.
But like, so this is, we're planning to do this, like this little short, should we call it, what should we call it? Like CultrTalk shorts or something like that?
Shorts?
Little topics that we
Snippets?
come up with, and but like, we'll still have the big episodes when we have our guests on. Yeah. But
something occasional,
something different.
But let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Comment below about Brexit.
Yeah.
Want to hear your views.
Let's get a discussion going.
Because we didn't go that in depth about it, but maybe we'll do another episode.
Yeah, we could easily do another episode.
Let's get your opinions and your concerns.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll catch you in the next episode of CultrTalk.
CultrTalk.
See you guys later.
See ya.